A well-hit shot, well judged, and over the bar. That's a goal and a point now for Liam Cahill. And Limerick, really, the two Nashes have yet to really settle down in a meaningful way here. Their men are causing them problems. This is the latest problem.
Here it is, Ciaran. You can see again, turns inside and a great strike, and that's going to do his confidence a world of good. The senior players of the team are playing very well, and the younger players are contributing as well.
Now we've got Tony with some further news.
Well, Jerry, just the fact that you say it's a still day, and it was at the beginning, but the wind favouring Limerick very much so, because it's picked up quite considerably.
Thank you, Tony, because it's hard to judge from up here, but you down on the side of the park, at least you can see. Ball carried out over the sideline there by Brendan Carroll. Well, the Tom Fogarty there in the centre of that group there. Second year in charge of the Tip side, and this is the year they really want to win something. They lost the league final to Galway here, remember, back in early May. They really underperformed on the day. Mike Houlihan, for a Limerick side, have been very sluggish from the outset here. Shane O'Neill, press towards Damien Quigley, a potential match winner. Not with that ball in there. It was Conal Bonnar who was in there closing him down, showing a terrific appetite for hard work. Ciaran Carey unsettled there, trying to take the ball up onto his stick, tripped, I think, yes, by Liam Cahill. Free to Limerick.
I know it's early stages of the game now, Ger, but Tipperary look very, very hungry. They look very fit. The hurling is very, very sharp, and Limerick are struggling to get into the game at this point in time.
Definite trip there. They may not be all that terribly comfortable either with the mantle of favouritism which is theirs by virtue of their sparkling win over Cork initially and then knocking out the All-Ireland champions. Bit of running repairs then for the corner forward. That's come straight to Michael Cleary, and he punishes it. Michael Cleary with a second point. Well, you can't give away scores like that and try to win a Guinness Munster championship final.
That's right, Ger. I mean, it was a free to Limerick, and I'm sure Michael Carey will be delighted with the point, but the free by Mark Foley was appalling, really.
Well, the Limerick management is on the side of the field, something you don't see too often, as Tony O'Donoghue was telling us earlier on. They really are on edge. They can't afford to let Tipperary get away from them early on in this match and be chasing the game after that. It's going to be a free to Tipperary. Remi Ryan poised to take it inside his own 65-metre line. The wind behind him, he lobs it in towards Declan Ryan, batted down by Ciaran Carey, and struck high and put over the bar. Superb stick work there by Liam McGrath. That was a wonderful point by the number 11.
It's a great score, but it was very interesting to see Remi Ryan before he took that free. He actually looked at the sideline to know whether he was to drop the ball into the square or actually shoot for a point, and he just took the option of throwing the ball in around the square, and it turned out to be a great score for Tipperary.
It lobbed in there beautifully, and it could so easily have gone on the back of Joe Quaid's net. So is there now a Limerick response? Tommy Dunn, tipped by far the better team in this early stages. Runs away from him to Ciaran Carey. Limerick looking for a break towards Paudge Tobin. He's got support, and he never managed to pick out Gary Kirby, who was on mark. Instead it's Brian O'Mara, midfielder player for Tipperary. Well caught there again. Liam Cahill laying it outside for Ryan. Another chance and another score put over the bar. Declan Ryan's second point. They're almost going through this Limerick defence like cutting through salami. They're making it look so easy, it's almost routine. That was a terrific catch, and not watch now for Declan Ryan to come into the picture. And you almost felt at one stage here he could have shot it into the back of the net. He went off the stick of Joe Quaid. Point instead. The Tip fans roaring their side on. Ciaran Carey trying to get the Limerick forwards moving. George Friend instead. Michael Cleary. This time it's Sean O'Neill. Good ball inside. This is a better one. Owen O'Neill inside. Stays at his feet. Kicks. Oh, and he's put it wide. There was discipline there by the Tipperary backs, because at one stage you wondered whether somebody was going to become overcommitted but this was the best chance that Limerick have had so far.
Yes, a great chance for Limerick, and he cuts inside Michael Ryan, the defender, and he looked as maybe he was going to get a penalty, but if he had went down, I'm sure the referee would have pointed the penalty spot, but he had the option, he kicked wide, unfortunately, for Limerick.
Have no doubt. Mike Houlihan back there, but it's caught by John Leahy, looking so sharp this year. Back to Brian O'Mara. That goes to the right. But time and again, the loose ball around midfield has been picked up by Brian O'Mara, by Conal, Bonnar on that half-back line that have been so dominant. Joe Quaid to puck out. Just over 15 minutes to go to half-time. Dave Clarke stumbling. Instead, it's McGrath down as far as Declan Ryan. Quick look up at the post, but this time it goes left. And that's now 5 wides for Tipperary against just 1, I think, for Limerick.
It just shows, Ger, how much scope and how much space Tipperary forward line are getting themselves, and we've yet to see any of the influential Limerick players like Ciaran, Carey, Mike Houlihan or Gary Kirby coming into the game.
Shane O'Neill is knocked away from him. He seems to have moved in to centre half forward. Gary Kirby's gone right half forward. Will the switches work as Damien Quigley is fouled by George Friend, and it's going to be a free in. George questioning the decision. George's 5th championship match, star with Toomey Barrow over the past few years, and always an absolute delight to watch. It's going to be Gary Kirby to hit this. They look for another one from Gary. Once again, he's the provider. All 3 of their points coming from frees, all from this man here. The Limerick fans now looking for a bit more variation. They simply have to get the other forwards into it, otherwise you could be seeing Mike Galligan coming in, or Frankie Carroll perhaps. And there's a few more names as well. What about Barry Foley, who scored a couple of points when he came in when Limerick were really in a crisis against Clare?
Yes, Ciaran, I think the key thing for Limerick now is keep plugging away and try and get another few points on the board, and don't leave themselves with an impossible task at half-time. Try and get as near to Tipperary as possible.
Mark Foley to take this, man of the match against Cork. Colm Bonnar back there, virtually unmarked. They closed him down late, but it was all eyes on the ball. Liam McGrath run into the challenge there from Mike Houlihan. Stick broken by Houlihan, down towards Liam Cahill. Declan Nash, chance to go back, dominate the situation, take it away from the wily number 13, ride the challenges. Out to Mark Foley. This is a bit better from Limerick. Stopped in the end, an unfair challenge. The challenge was by Liam McGrath. He hit him on the front. Referee right alongside it. Not too much doubt about this. It was a frontal challenge. Free has been taken quickly up to Damien Quigley. George Friend there for company. Next it's Remi Ryan against TJ Ryan. And the referee whistling. Perhaps he'll end the uncertainty with a throw ball after the exchange has become just a little heated. And linesman Michael Wadding there from Waterford into cool down proceedings. Referee talking to TJ Ryan there. And indeed he is going to throw the ball in. This is the stalemate situation, and more than a hint of aggression. Throw-in's been taken. Mike Houlihan. Limerick are so capable of a great comeback. They did it in the past. Remember the league final here? Was it 91? Gary Kirby, ever the leader. He wins the free. Having a quick look back there in the general direction of Brian O'Mara. It gives Limerick another.
Yes, as he tried to cut inside, he was cut by Brian O'Mara, the centre field man for Tipperary. And again, it's up to Gary Kirby again at this stage to get a score for Limerick.
And this to keep them nicely in touch. Again, rolled confidently onto the stick, but this time they didn't measure it with his usual degree of accuracy. Well, there's one where they really did need a score. But they can't just depend upon his frees. Brendan Cummins puck out, dropping well into the half-forward line. John Leahy getting it back as far as Brian O'Mara. Towards Liam Cahill's corner, lovely pick-up. This is wonderful skill from a player who's just out of minor. Having a terrific match. In towards Tommy Dunn, runs over the head of Tommy Dunn, on for Joe Quaid. And a mighty clearance from the Limerick custodian towards Shane O'Neill, now operating on the 40 in a switch with Gary Kirby. It's Remi Ryan, however. Remi was played wing forward, corner forward, midfield. Happiest, I'm sure, around the half-back line. Paul Shelly getting there ahead of his man. That should be a good clash between Shelly and Tobin. Two no-nonsense players. It ends up being a Limerick ball. Well, one of the great Tip fans watching from hospital in Thurles this afternoon is Mrs. Margaret Hayes. Wish well from all the Tipperary party, I can tell you. TJ Ryan hitting this one. Damien Quigley dispossessed momentarily. Comes back to TJ Ryan. It's high. It drops down eventually. It's taken by Michael Ryan. Ryan away on a little solo burst away from Owen O'Neill. And in the end, he carries it over the line, and it's going to be a Limerick sideline ball. So just about 10 minutes left in the first half, where Tip have made by far the better start. Mike Houlihan cuts it up, but he's cut it to the left. Tell you, Manny's a golfer down in Druids Glen, will be mighty happy with that one. Didn't quite get it on the green, however.
Yes, they're fine when they go over the bar. Unfortunately, there's a free puck out to the goalkeeper back down the field again and puts pressure on his own defence.
The initiative back with Tipperary from this puck out. Off the stick of Mark Foley, back there towards Dave Clarke, shouldered again by Liam Cahill. He's having a wonderful game. To John Leahy, quick step inside, lovely point. John Leahy, second score, made for him by Liam Cahill. The youngster gave it to that man with a wise head.
Yes, Joe, I think we have a star in the making, but as I said previously there, you know, a free puck out on the field and results. Liam Cahill finding John Leahy, and the ball goes over the bar.
They're just able to step in. Leahy, Declan Ryan, players of that class. And they make it look so easy at times. It's a Tipperary sideline ball. TJ Ryan having a look across towards the mentors on the sideline. Dave Mahidi on the right-hand side, and Tom Ryan as well, the team manager. Dave has done so well to train this team, bring them to a peak of physical fitness. And that physical edge is going to be needed in the second half. Tipperary are looking mighty sharp themselves. Brian O'Mara, no problems for Joe Quaid there. It was interesting during the league campaign that Brian O'Mara was one of those players that Father Tom Fogarty used as part of the young breed of young up-and-coming Tipperary players, and there were those who scoffed it and said, you know, when it comes to the championship, Fox will be in and English will be in, but they stuck to their guns.
Yes, Joe, and I think when a lot of people heard the Tipperary team last Wednesday, they were saying, had they made a mistake, English had played very well in the previous rounds, and they seem to be justified in that selection at this point in time.
Declan Nash, very pleased indeed to see that one run out of play, with the Ballingarry star Liam Cahill breathing down his neck. Perhaps they're Limerick fans, they look tense. Taken by Declan Nash, straight to Michael Cleary. Ciaran Carey trying to get in a challenge. Mark Foley likewise comes to Carey eventually, and then he's challenged strongly by Declan Ryan, who wins back possession. He was chopped down, and the referee Joe O'Leary there saying that's a free in for Tipperary. But the big names through the centre of the field for Limerick, the Ciaran Careys, the Mike Hoolans, the Gary Kirbys, they're the ones who are really going to have to give this leadership. Michael Cleary, 2 points so far. Will it just get inside the left-hand post? Indeed it does. That's another one for the team captain. And it's 1-9 to 3 points. Well, there was the day of the gale when that league final was played in the early 90s, and Tipperary built up a huge lead in the first half. And that was the day that Ray Sampson came along, you might remember it, and got the winning point at the end of all of that for Limerick. So they're well capable of coming back.